Welcome back to Living Local. Our next guest is a former professional ballet dancer turned sports psychologist who is helping dancers build the confidence, resilience, and mental strength to succeed. She joins us via Zoom now to tell us more about her program, Passion for Dance. Welcome to the show, Chelsea Pierotti. Hey, in this segment sponsored by Influencer Press, welcome to the show. Thanks so much for being here.
Thank you so much for having me this morning.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's hear a little bit about you. You know, how do you go from dancer to psychologist and all this? This is you know, I'm in the arts myself, so I'm always fascinated by how that goes.
Oh, I love to hear that. Yes, so I grew up a competitive studio dancer and trained heavily in ballet, was able to finish my career as a professional ballet dancer, but I've always been a nerd for science. I love teaching, I love research and science. So I took the academic path to finish a PhD in sports psychology. And I didn't think I would get to do it in the arts, but I eventually realized that sports psychology can be done and really should be done in performing arts. So now I get to do both. I get to be a professor and support performing artists.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, I'm a dancer turned talk show host, maybe. I don't know what we call that. But you know, you label dancers and athletes as athletes and artists, and I love that. And how does the training of a dancer kind of compare to that of an athlete? Let's dig into that a little bit.
Sure, I think it's really the same. They're both high-level athletes. And I think dance is sometimes a sport, but not always, but dancers are always an athlete. And so the training to me is very much the same. And especially with what I do with mental skills, it's the same idea. You're training for skills like confidence and mental toughness. You're just trying to perform your best in a high pressure situation. And that's true in traditional sports, it's true in dance, and it's true when you're hosting TV. So
exactly. It's all the same. Do you find that the type of training kind of changes as you age?
It can, because our brain changes. So how we learn and how we process things really changes. But you can start training mental skills with very young children, but it's really about training the adults in their life to help them. And then I start my training around middle school, and you can really start to help guide young athletes and dancers to figure that out at that age, and it continues your whole life.
You know, when it comes to kind of like building that resilience and having that positive mindset, do you find that there's certain mistakes that dancers and trainers also make early on that can be kind of detrimental?
I do, and I think one of the most common is that you assume because you're an athlete that these mental skills will happen.
Sure.
Right? If I go to class every day, if I train really hard, I will just get that skill. And it's not automatic. It takes specific training and it takes time and effort. So dance and sport can teach us mental skills and can teach us to be more confident and resilient and all the life skills that we want to bring forward, but it's not automatic. I think it takes more intention than people realize.
And because you've been down in the trenches, man, you know, as a professional, that must, you know, kind of shape how you coach, right?
Oh, for sure. I think being able to come at it as a dancer now, I can take the research and the work that's done in traditional sports and apply it to dance. We're getting better with the research and the understanding within the performing arts, but there's still not a lot of it. So being able to have the experience on both sides has been really powerful. Yeah.
So talk to us about your program and the podcast and everything, because it's really fascinating what you're bringing to the universe here.
Oh, thank you. I work mostly with dancers that are competitive, not always, but mostly competitive dancers. And I love working at the group level, so with the studio, with the team, because I think a lot of it is about culture. So that includes the teachers as well. And I do workshops anywhere from an hour to a full season commitment working together. And as you mentioned, I have a podcast called Passion for Dance. That's really my mission, to create happier, more successful dancers using positive mental skills.
Absolutely. And you know, where do you see kind of the future of the mental performance aspect of dance heading? Because I think we're in a society that thinks more about that now than we did in the past.
We do, which I am very grateful for, and I think it's growing. So I think there is a difference between mental health and mental toughness, and I think that's a conversation that is growing, and I'm happy to see that. But I think the service is growing because both performing artists, dancers are willing to ask for help, willing to talk about it. It's part of the conversation. And then more dancers are turning to the profession. So we have more people working in mental performance who come from performing arts. And so I think both the provider and the need are growing, and I'm happy to see that.
Yeah, well, hey, this was a lovely, you know, albeit short conversation with you, but I really do appreciate you taking the time today. So best of luck to you, Chelsea, and thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you very much. Again, this segment was sponsored by Influencer Press. For more information, go to ChelseaPierotti.com. We'll have all those details posted at OurQuadCities.com.